everybody. Another End Offender here, and the day has finally arrived. Today, we are going to be reacting to the trailer that has finally come out for Zack Snyder's 10th film. And no, that does not count! Rebel Moon. I really can't wait for this film, even with just how much controversy this guy has received on the internet, particularly with his DCEU films. Now, what's my opinion on those films? I fucking love them. And I frickin' love his directorial style. I love Zack Snyder. And one of the main reasons why I absolutely adored his Justice League trilogy so much is because in an era just overloaded with oversaturated action comedies and mainstream pre-planning that defined the MCU with their cookie-cutter films that they were treating as mainstream content, to say his DCEU, which was more somber, yes, but also more thematically and directorially satisfying, is a breath of fresh air in this age. It's beyond an understatement. And if you don't like his filmography or what he did with those films, that's alright. But you can't change my opinion, because this is my reaction, and I'm forming this off of my own opinions, and you can't sit there and tell me what I can or cannot like. Back to his filmography, however, with how he changed the game for the superhero genre and changed it to something I love, him now moving to a space epic, it has me ecstatic, because this is also in an age where space epics have become a victim of mainstream agenda as well, particularly Star Wars, with its criticism ranging from being too formulaic to being a slap in the face of its fans and audiences. However, with him directing a space epic, who's to say he won't change the game again? And maybe I'll be disappointed with it. If I'm disappointed with the trailer or the film, I'll come out and say it. But with what I've seen from him so far, I'm hyped up. But enough rambling on the good old Zaddy. Let's watch the trailer. It even references one of his DCEU films, which it was also kind of like a space epic, but it was in the superhero genre. And that's another thing. I love the world building he did with Krypton in Man of Steel. For a planet we see with such short screen time, only 20 minutes I believe, I want to see more of it. I would be glad to see a Krypton prequel movie if he ever wanted to make it, and we might have gotten to see it if a group of select executives hadn't kicked him out. But anyways, I've rambled on for well long enough. Let's get down to watching the video. 5 seconds and counting. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that's an abuse of Netflix. Lift off. We're having a lift off. Oh, AI?
Do you know the story of the Princess Issa? In myth, she was called the Redeemer.
The Redeemer?
It was said this child would stop the madness of war. That she was to usher in a new age of peace and compassion. I was given memories of a world I will never see. Loyalty to a king I cannot serve. And love for a child I could not save.
I couldn't. Oh, that's a shot that was in the teaser.
What do you think they want?
Everything.
I found her.
Oh.
Scar giver.
Yep.
I am a child of war. I was taught that love is weakness. There is a difference between justice and revenge.
Oh.
There is a price to pay for your defiance.
Huh?
Shh. One moment.
One moment.
I do love this part.
Hold on.
I don't want no trouble.
We're not here to bring any.
Are you ready?
Zack Snyder.
You and I both know fear. Let's show them that we're not afraid.
I really wish I could see this in the theater.
Let's show them we are more than the shackles that bind us.
Oh, that's gonna be.
A king is a man, and a man can fail. But a myth is indestructible.
The time has come for all that you love. Protect each other and show them no mercy.
Who among you is willing to die for what you believe?
Yes. Part 1. Child of Fire. Started. Yep. I really hope that they release this to theaters. I really do. They would be a fool not to release this to theaters. I absolutely love this trailer. I absolutely loved it. Yep. I'm going to be commenting the hashtag here. Release Rebel Moon to theaters. Absolutely epic. Absolutely. Netflix. Please. Release this to theaters. I would go back multiple times if they released this to theaters. I would go back multiple times, and I noticed that I misspelled Netflix there. They're still using it as a typo. Yeah. Please, release this to theaters. I would go back multiple times. Zack Snyder deserves, needs. Release this to theaters. I would go back multiple times. Zack Snyder deserves and he needs our support. That's all I can say about this trailer. It's absolutely epic. There's no question about it. I really wish that I could have first reacted to this in a theater room. Imagine how epic that would have been. But then again, I guess you couldn't really hear my commentary. I even had to turn my volume all the way up just to get that epic feel. Man alive, is it epic. And in this one shot, is that Ray Fisher? I don't know if that's Ray Fisher. I know that he was casted to play a part. I believe he was playing Blood Axe, but I don't know, and I'm not gonna go research because I want this to be the only time I see this trailer. Unless that is, I can see it in theaters if they do decide to release it. The director of Man of Steel, he's really doing it. He really is doing it. I mean, these wheat fields really do call back to Smallville in a sense, and there's the whole thing about the daughter, about how they had to rebel against. So the general plot of this is that they're going to build a rebellion against the authoritarian regime, and I think there's even some references to mythology in this, because there was a line in the trailer saying, even though mortals may die, a myth would always survive. And you can even tell by the aesthetic itself that it's mixing the sci-fi epicness of Star Wars with the more mythological elements that we saw from Zack Snyder with 300, and I'm definitely gonna want to watch some more of Zack Snyder's films. I've actually only seen his Justice League trilogy, but I want to see more. I really do want to see more of his films. I'm even thinking that maybe every month on the 22nd, I'm going to be doing a review for my channel on his films. I could do a review of Army of the Dead, 300, Watchmen, and I could watch the other film that he did for Netflix. I'm really excited for this. Extremely, extremely hyped. It's definitely mixing some more of the fantastical elements, and I only realized just now that this shot was referencing the Eclipse logo we saw with the whole Rebel Moon thing. That is some amazing CGI. Far and away better than anything we've seen from The Flash. It's amazing how a film that was made by a studio that wasn't a media giant like Warner Brothers. It's amazing how their CGI is much better than this. Than what we got. In fact, Man of Steel CGI was better than The Flash's, and then we got the whole from director Zack Snyder thing. It's my most anticipated film this year now. My most anticipated before was Oppenheimer, but now that I've seen it and loved it, and with not many films left to see, I'm definitely checking this out. Even if it doesn't get a theatrical release, I'm probably going to be watching this film twice the same day it came out. I mean, if the film's disappointing, again, I'll come out in a minute, but from what I've seen from Zaddy's works, it's going to be epic. I'm almost certain that it's going to be epic. And there's even the stuff with the lightsabers. They better hope that they don't get sued by Disney or something by including those laser swords. And there's that shot on the hayfield with the red and the blue. It's really some amazing stuff. I mean, absolutely incredible. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching this movie. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out in case they do give this a theatrical release. Hopefully in IMAX they'll give it. And I do find it kind of curious with the aspect ratio that they went back to the widescreen as opposed to the 4:3 ratio that they used with Zack Snyder's Justice League and the remastered version of Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, in some scenes. I do find it a little strange that they went back to that widescreen aspect ratio. I think I kind of would prefer that box ratio, but maybe they'll go for a bigger ratio when if it gets an IMAX release on theaters. Maybe this is just teasing us. Who knows? Who knows? But that's kind of a small nitpick in an otherwise absolutely stunningly epic trailer. I can't put into words how epic this is. It's like Lord of the Rings epic, and I haven't felt energy like this since the Snyder Cut was announced. I just haven't. And where was the whole credit with Zack Snyder again? Yep. Zack Snyder right there. Thanks for tuning in to my reaction. If you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, and be sure to comment and subscribe if you want to see me do a review on this movie and possibly other Zack Snyder films leading up to this. With that out of the way, this has been Nether End Offender here, so long for now.